I wish I could talk to someone who's been in my shoes, you know? A black South Asian woman running for president. I gotta tell myself something over here. Come here. Well, it was worth a shot. And live from New York, it's Saturday!
Oh my God, bro! Oh my God, that was like so good. That was amazing. And what's crazy about that is A, Donald Trump could never. He could never. I am so fucking proud of her. I am, dude. I am so proud of Kamala Harris. I was really excited about her run in 2020, but then Joe Biden threw his hat in the ring, and so she knew she wasn't going to go anywhere against him in the primary. And then he picks her as VP, and now 4 years later, he steps down for her to take over. And dude, she's amazing. She is like so powerful, and she's so accomplished, and she's so smart. She is a real fighter. She is fucking feisty, and we've all seen her in the Senate hearings and shit, going for people's jugulars. She was an amazing prosecutor, attorney general of, you know, the 5th largest economy in the world, state of California, and she did a damn good job while she had that role. And when she first took over for Joe and got thrust into the spotlight, I mean, she was a little awkward at first. You know what I'm saying? I think her stepping into those shoes and with so little time and so much ground to cover, it was a big moment. You know what I mean? It's like that thing where the quarterback gets hurt and the guy comes off the bench and he goes in the game, and it's the playoffs, NFC championship game. The guy hasn't really thrown a ball all year on the field, and all of a sudden now he's going in and he's getting 14 points behind. And you either show up big and you rise to that thing, or you show up and you crumble and you fall apart. And what's really interesting is she has shown up and gotten better and better and better and more powerful and more refined and more confident as this process has gone on in record time. Like watching somebody come into the big game and literally just be nearly perfect. And what she said right there to Maya Rudolph when she grabbed her hand and said, "You got this," right? It's like you really get a sense, like I really get a sense from Kamala Harris, even when she's under duress, I get a sense that she's got this. And that's not something that we get from Donald Trump. From Donald Trump, we get a sense that the minute he gets slightly overwhelmed, he's going to self-destruct something. He is like a chaos maker. He is wildly unpredictable. He is wildly untalented. The only thing he's really good at is showing up and bullshitting. That's all he is good at, is being a bullshit artist. And that's it. And she really does got that.
What crap. The only thing I asked for is a mic. You don't have to give me, I don't even need a stage. I don't give a damn. Give me a good mic. And I went through 2 of these today. And it knocks the hell out of your throat. But so far I'm doing okay, right? Okay.
Dude,
is
he's
that better? Yeah.
so self-obsessed. Here it comes.
And did you notice I came in today, I said, and you know, this is after 4 of these things. I've been, in all fairness, I mean, I'm a human being, right?
Earlier he said it was
in,
3, now it's
and
4.
Here's the problem. I said, oh man, it's too low.
So that is our Republican candidate for president, guys. That's him. He's standing up on the podium making sucking references. Now, again, there's a number of things to unpack here, because obviously for him to be doing that, where you know he has talked about Kamala Harris doing that to achieve a level of success, and their attack on women, she slept her way to the top, or she sucked to the top. There's that layer. The other layer is him making a gay reference when his entire party is blatantly, patently anti-trans and openly anti-gay and have been harassing and behind hundreds of legislative bills in state houses all over the country attacking gay and trans rights. So that's really disturbing that he's doing that teenage thing of like the homophobic, gay-hating teens who make gay sex references as some type of joke of their superiority. And 3, though, is this guy wants to be president. The evangelicals, there's Christians that are going to cast a vote for this man. On Tuesday, there's tens of millions of Christians who are going to cast a vote for president, for the man who just did that. Dude, that's like the death rattle for organized religion. Like, what is Christianity at that point? That's really problematic. I feel like that move alone is going to lose him a lot of voters. This is a guy who has bragged about destroying women's rights. He's bragged about being openly anti-trans. He's bragged about wanting to make concentration camps of people of color and, ridding America of the vermin and the poisoned blood, as he refers to it, of hardworking immigrants that have come to fill jobs that need to be filled because Americans don't want to fill them. And he wants to demonize those people and put them in concentration camps with this immune police force. And simultaneously, look at that though, they think that is so cool. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I don't get this. I don't get this. If our presidential candidate was doing some sucking like that in a rally, I would not be okay with that. Kamala, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's look at this poll, because this poll, the Seltzer poll, shook everything up. Democrat Kamala Harris leads Donald Trump in Iowa, 47-44. A victory for Harris would be a shocking development after Iowa has swung aggressively to the right in recent elections. It will remain to be seen. I know this is a hard one to poll, but I know that a lot of women have seen the damage. I don't think it's going to be that tight. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are maybe not sure about things, but when push comes to shove, they just know that Donald Trump is going to be too damaging. But for me, guys, this comparison is 2012. This is not like 2016. In 2016, there was a massive groundswell of support for Bernie Sanders, and he devastated Hillary Clinton, who was already a little bit unpopular because she was a little motherly and snooty, looking down on her nose, and she was attached to Bill Clinton, who by then was not a popular guy because he's a dirtbag. So you had Hillary Clinton with this sort of neocon negativity surrounding her, and she was kind of the scoldy mother type who did the deplorables comment way early in the election. And then you had Donald Trump, who wasn't unknown, and Bernie Sanders weakened Hillary very much. And then Donald Trump took advantage of the way Bernie weakened Hillary, and he ran Bernie's campaign, and he won in the Midwest. Kamala is very different than that. Kamala Harris is very popular, okay? She has a whole bunch of people that are excited to work for her. And Donald Trump, though, like, we know what Trump is. We really do, dude. And women especially know what Trump is. So this right here, though, look at this. The poll shows that women, particularly those who are older or are politically independent, are driving the late shift towards Harris. Trump continues to lead with his core base of support: men, evangelicals, rural residents, and uneducated people. But it's women. The numbers in here, dude, are the women, the independent women. Here's where it gets interesting. Independent voters who had consistently supported Trump in the lead up to this election are now breaking for Harris. That's driven by the strength of independent women who back Harris by a 28-point margin, while independent men support Trump, but by a smaller margin. And senior voters who are 65 and older are favoring Harris, but senior women support her by a 2-to-1 margin. Senior women 65 and older are supporting Harris 63-28. You know why? because those women fought for the women's rights in 73 with Roe v. Wade. And now they're like, are you fucking shitting me? They grew up watching people shatter the strangle on women where they had to just raise kids and get addicted to diet pills doing the housework while the man got to go out and be the boss. And then all of a sudden, Roe v. Wade happens. Again, men don't understand the reason why abortion is so significant is women don't want to get abortions. Nobody wants to get an abortion. Okay. It's a horrible decision to have to make. It's really hard and really complicated. And it's heartrending when women have to make that decision. But what it is when a woman is getting pregnant, there is always a risk of death. No matter what, getting pregnant is a risk of death to the woman because of the complications of having a growing egg inside them. If something goes wrong, they get infections in their blood, sepsis, that leads to death. So women are risking their lives every time they get pregnant. So the guaranteed right to abortion guarantees that that woman's life will be prioritized. If she's going to die, or if she is anywhere near possibly dying, they're going to end the fetal existence and save the woman. That's what abortion guarantees them, that their life is going to be prioritized. When there's an abortion ban, that guarantee is gone because now the doctor's worried about getting prosecuted, so he has to wait until that woman is like one step from death, and then he can go and do the procedure, which usually means the woman is dead or she ends up with some lifelong complication. So that's part one. But part two is by a guaranteed right to abortion, the woman knows if an abusive man gets her pregnant, or if she gets, raped, or if she accidentally gets pregnant at an inopportune time, she does not have to have that baby and get attached to those men. She has the freedom to say, no, I'm not going to incubate this clump of cells. I'm going to go out and continue following my career or whatever it is she wants to do. And that was the big shift. Prior to 1973, when that right was guaranteed, what would happen to a lot of women is they would go out on a date in high school, right? With some guy that they just met and were kind of smitten with. They would get pregnant, and next thing you know, they're married and they have like 4 kids, and their life that they wanted is over. And now they're just a pregnant woman, married, taking care of a bunch of kids and taking care of this guy's house while he goes out and gets a career. And so men all over the planet would just get women pregnant. That's how they did it. If they wanted to marry a woman, they knew their best chance of it was to somehow get her pregnant. And then she was his. Now, Roe v. Wade guaranteed the woman's right to prevent that from happening. She was only going to now incubate those cells if she really wanted to have that baby. And that gave women the power to not be entrapped into lives they didn't want to have. Because let me tell you, you go back in the 50s and 60s, all those like women taking care of families, 75% of them wanted a different life, guys. And that's what men did. But women didn't want those lives. They didn't want to have 5 kids at age 25 and vacuum the house all day. They wanted careers. They wanted to go to college. They wanted to be president. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's what it's about. It's about the fact that women no longer want to be tied into lives that they don't want to live just because some dude got them pregnant. And I think absolutely, I agree with the women. At the end of the day, man, the women in the 50s, many of them, most of them did not want that life. It was just the only life they had, man. And it was real common for young people to go out, go on some dates, have a little bit of sex. The woman gets pregnant, and then all of a sudden she's a housewife. But they did not want that, guys. Women have never really wanted that. Some women did, but most women sure as hell didn't. Now, again, this is just a poll. It doesn't mean anything about the election. However, the suggestion that there could be a poll in Iowa showing Kamala Harris being ahead 3 points, or even if she's down 3 points, this is like a 10-point state. If women being upset about losing rights because of the overturn of Roe v. Wade causes Iowa to have a 5-point shift where Trump even wins it, but it's a 5-point positive shift for Kamala Harris in a state like Iowa, that will most certainly devastate him in the rest of the country. And it could threaten states like Ohio, Texas, Florida, all that are in play. This is kind of the big news right here, dude. How the poly market odds, look at what they just did, bro. How they just flipped bigly. Obviously, this is stupid. It's betting odds. It has nothing to do with the actual results, especially since this isn't even a US thing. What's funny about this, I think this poly market shit is stupid, but I think it's good because this has been one of the things of like, Trump is winning, Trump is winning. But what I think is funny about this is how this has been gamed. They spent the entire month of October gaming this. So people like Benny Johnson and all the other Russian paid right-wing influencers could create a narrative. They were creating this sort of Trump narrative when in reality, if we look at reality, here's what's really been going on. I think this is really amazing. This is what's really been going on, guys, is the ground game. This was today in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. The Kamala Harris campaign knocked on 807,000 doors today in Pennsylvania. Nearly 1 million doors. They have so many offices in Pennsylvania, campaign offices. Dude, it's crazy. The number of volunteers that are on the ground. In Wisconsin, 215,000 doors, 940,000 phone calls. 721,000 phone calls and 250,000 doors in Michigan. I'm so excited about this because this is the shit that needs to be happening. They knocked on 1.3 million doors and made 1.6 million phone calls today in 3 swing states. This is the ground game of all ground games that has been undertaken. Now, MAGA, they have been getting a big boost on Facebook now that Zuckerberg is a Trumpy. Elon, of course, bought Twitter and has red-pilled the shit out of it. And they have, you know, they're blowing up algorithms. Donald Trump has been juicing his TikTok. They've been juicing Rogan's YouTube video. I'm sure they're botting the shit out of this stuff. But at the end of the day, guys, TikTok and YouTube video views and Twitter posts going viral don't vote. What votes are the people that are on the other side of doors and the people that are, you know, answering phones. He is speaking right now, bro. He is on the mic.
For American citizens, we're going to have American people in our communities now.
This is in North Carolina. Nobody in the upper deck. Look at how many empty seats there are.
You know that these gangs have weapons that are...
Holy shit.
And that even the police...
Oh my God, bro.
In Colorado...
Dude.
You have the same gang, the Venezuelan gang, American communities...
And there he is. You can see him right there speaking. Dude, that shit is empty, bro. That shit is empty. Holy shnikes, dude. This is my 10th presidential election. In all my years, I've seen some nasty campaigns. But one thing I will say about this election is I have never, in my 10 presidential elections, seen a human being be as nasty, as like violent rhetoric, as horrible in bringing up every negative aspect of humanity, whether it's racism or like using Hitler's language or just being a complete and utter disrespectful degenerate than Donald Trump. Like, he has brought the worst and the ugliest parts of human nature into a campaign in a way that is like, it saddens me. Like, the fact that it's even going to be any type of a close race is like a little bit heartbreaking to me, because it makes me realize that we're not as far from 1964 as I thought we were, right? I thought we were a lot further from 1964, but we're still like relitigating the civil rights movement now. Even now, it's like crazy, the racism and nasty impulses, the violent rhetoric. I've never seen that. And he's really upped it from 2016. It was pretty bad in 2016. In 2020, it wasn't nearly as bad because he was so overloaded from COVID. And I think he knew very early on he was going to lose. And, you know, it's a lot harder for him to attack, you know, a white man, Trump. It's just, he's much better going after women. That's his preferred prey. Donald Trump has always been women, from grabbing them by the to, you know, hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein and being with underage girls. It's like Donald Trump, if you go back to his wives, dude, Ivana, you know what I'm saying? He's always been abusive to women and harmful to women. That's been his cornerstone. But I've never witnessed a human being be as nasty and degenerate and low-grade toxic as Donald Trump. Now, on the flip side of it, I have never seen somebody step into the limelight with such a short amount of time and such a huge burden on her shoulders as Kamala Harris has done, and seen them rise to the occasion. Like, I feel like we're watching when Tom Brady stepped in his rookie year and took, you know, the Patriots to the Super Bowl. It's like that kind of shit with what Kamala Harris has done. She is a force, man, that could alter American history forever. Like, you know, in the thing she said with Maya Rudolph when she said, you know, we can open doors. Like, I don't think you guys realize there's something that Jenny shared with me the other day. It's about this anti-racism work. These are from some of the women in the 70s who, right after the civil rights movement, that were trying to like liberate black women. And there's this idea in the anti-racism work that black women, when they are liberated, the whole world will be free. A lot of it has to do with intersectionality and the white power versus the black enslavement here in America, and to do with the patriarchal design of the world for like 6,000 years. That the black women have been like the last ones to be liberated. You still watch TV shows where they're still kind of this stereotypical type character and shit. And so Kamala Harris becoming president will like smash a ceiling that is about freedom, that is going to be good for all of humanity. It's going to reverberate like for generations in the entire world. Like, we don't even realize, a lot of people don't even realize how seismic this will be. It's not even about the United States. It's about 400 years, you know, thousands of years, really. If you want to go all the way back through the patriarchal origins of the world. But we're talking about some of the final chain breaking worldwide for all of us.